computer if it'll. Okay, so thank you so much, Jaron, for coming on and speaking to me. I do have a couple questions for you that I wanted to ask. The first thing is I want you to just give a brief description of what you've gone through so far and a little bit about yourself.
Huh. Um, I mean, a brief description of, I mean, we can just summarize it, I guess, with 2024. I came into 2024 on an ankle monitor that was not allowing me to have any alcohol consumption. I got off of that, and between January to June, I guess I went on you would call benders. To me, it was just using, but I guess the term for the generic public would be benders. And it crescendoed in June on that time where I lost my fiance, I lost a job, um, I lost everything really. Got better for a little bit, and then it spiraled all out of control the day after Thanksgiving up until December 11th. December 11th of last year, I got arrested. I tried to take my life in June. I failed at that. I was going to try to take my life in December, and I was arrested before that happened. And so I just came into 2025 broken, just empty, lost again, once again at the age of 37, moving back with my parents from Delaware back to Texas with nothing except material possessions.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so it kind of took a little bit. It did. I mean, I wish I could say after I got out of jail everything was good, but it wasn't. I dabbled still. I went hard for a month even after I got out of jail, and then from January to April, I was drinking recreationally, and to me, using has always been a part of my life for the
Yeah.
last 19 years, really. So when I say using recreation, like periodic using, is not it that was normal for me.
Yeah.
Weekend using was normal for me. So I'd think maybe I got high maybe 7 times from January to April, and then I've stopped. I just quit
Well, I'm so
again.
proud of you.
So
It's really good.
yeah, so yeah, I guess that's kind of just sums it up. I mean, you can probably ask more questions into the details of it, but yeah, that's what got us here right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad you're still here. I've been there myself. I know how hard it can be, but you're here for a reason. So always know that, there's a purpose for your life, and you're doing amazing things. I really, really do feel that you're an inspiration for a lot of people, and that needs to be shared and said. And you're very raw and honest, and that's a beautiful thing. So one of the things I do want to say for those that don't know you yet, so how would you describe your energy? Because I know that you carry this poetic legit funny, you always make everything humorous and you have to in life like that. So just explain a little bit about how your energy is and how you get through every day.
I would define myself as cheerfully depressed.
Cheerfully
Um,
depressed.
cheerfully depressed. I think I have a sad soul. Uh, I think maybe you could say a sad soul. Some people call it empathic.
Yeah.
Um, However you want to describe it. Uh, Maybe it's just because I've done a lot of messed up stuff in my life. I don't know. But I've always been more on the emotional side of things. So I guess one of the easier ways is for me to get through things is just to stay upbeat. I mean, there's only one thing I can control, and that's the attitude and energy in which I have. I honestly, I don't think that I look at it as a cynic, but maybe I do. Uh, but I think life sucks. Um, I think it's a it's a beautiful disaster in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
And we have, luckily, through the suckiness, we have amazing, incredible moments. And so I try to remember those moments of the incredibleness of, for instance, when it's pouring down rain, metaphorically, there's beauty in the storm.
Yes.
And so to kind of look through it like that, maybe I would describe myself like that.
I love.
Maybe I try to be my own cheerleader and hype myself up. I don't know.
You have to, right? Because not everybody's
Yeah,
gonna cheer for you, but you
yeah,
have to find that within yourself. And I think
yeah,
that on a healing journey, you just even sitting with yourself and being by yourself and loving yourself again and accepting who you are and doing the work that needs to be done. The inner work is important because not everybody can sit with themselves and not everybody can do
absolutely.
that work. They refuse to see or hold themselves accountable, which I've seen you do that. And I think that's beautiful because men need to be able to hold themselves accountable just like women need to be able to hold themselves accountable. Because there's
Absolutely.
something beautiful in that healing, you know, of oneself, and it spreads that positivity and helps a lot of other people along the way. So I think it's so
Yeah.
important that, you know, both women and men can do that and learn
Yeah.
to do that. And that's, you know, one of the biggest things. So one thing, can you walk us back to the early part of your journey with your substance use? What were you trying to soothe, escape, or silence within yourself at that time?
I loved getting high. I still love getting high. I don't think that some people's stories are all different. I think everybody has their own thing of what it was. But I'm gonna tell you, like, I had everything. I didn't I have the still to this day the greatest parents. I had an incredible home life. I went to private school. Some people are like, "Oh, you're a pastor's kids. Those are the worst." Uh, I I wanted to get famous, I guess, or be accepted, or to the most extreme. And partying and doing all that stuff was the most extreme. It got the most attention. It got the most attractive people. It got the biggest. That was who was looked at, right? The high school, at least in my mind, that's what I thought. The high school jock, that's the biggest partier, gets the most chicks, gets the most acceptance, gets the most money, has the most fame, is the most sought after and desired. Maybe I grew up in a world of real world road rules, MTV time frame
Yeah. Hmm.
where that was what I watched. That's what I was pushed on. That not pushed on. That's what I consumed.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I watched that. That's what I consumed in me, and that's what I then tried to relive and react in my life.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think anything pushed me to drugs. I think as I got older, I used drugs to for anything as far as for celebration, or if things
Hmm.
started to slide, then I would just keep using. But like I said, I like I like getting high. I would lie to you if I told you I didn't like getting high. I don't think that anybody to again, anything that I say, if it doesn't apply, don't worry about it. Right? These are
Yeah.
just my own conceptions and my own thought of my own life.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm gonna tell anybody that if they tell me they didn't like getting high, I'm gonna tell you you're a liar.
Right.
For the simple reason of this, you don't wake up at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning and go run because you don't want to, because you don't like doing it. We do things because we like to do them. We
Yeah.
stop doing things or start doing other things because we get tired of whatever the outcome is. That's the
Mhm.
bottom line, plain and simple for me. Um, I liked getting high, and then that high ended up taking everything from me multiple times. So I would just continue down that self wallowing, self misery of woe is me, everybody's leaving, I'm just going to keep using until eventually I was arrested, or a job came through, or I was like, I'm going to turn it around. I'm tired of this, whatever. Um, but it was, yeah, I don't think anything really pushed me to it, uh, other
Yeah.
than my enjoyment of it, to be honest with you.
And I appreciate your honesty because it is, I mean, it is true. We were, because I'm a 90s baby too, but we were raised on, you know, that's what fun is. You know, doing all
Yeah,
those things is what makes it fun. And I think that we were, in a sense, programmed like this is what people do. And it was normalized, you know, to do those things. And of course, it is fun. It's euphoric. And I think that it's medication in a different form of making everything seem better than it is. If your life sucks or you're depressed, you know, you can get high and then you feel differently about that and nothing sucks anymore. So I think in a way it's an easier way out than having to live because, you know, being sober is great, but it's an eye opener. And it kind of, when you get high, it kind of puts those blinders on to the certain things, you know? So I
yeah.
understand that completely. I definitely do. And was there a defining moment that shifted you, a moment where you said, I'm choosing life, I'm choosing healing, or was your breakthrough more gradual?
I would say both. I mean, I've used drugs since I was 15, with ecstasy and smoking marijuana, all the way up to, cocaine use starting at the age of 18 or 19, and then continuing to hard. usage of IV from heroin to meth to cocaine. Um, I've gotten clean. I went to rehab 3 times. I did Narcotics Anonymous, where I was in Narcotics Anonymous for 3.5 years from 2015 to 2018. So I was clean then. I did Christian missionary work from 2009 to 2000, the beginning of 2000 or middle 2008. What was it? Sorry, it's 2007 to 2009. I traveled all over the world preaching about God. So I was clean then. Did 2 years then. So I've had stints and then plus the other 2 rehabs, right, where I've stopped. I've had other stints where I quit doing uh, drugs and drank. Um, so my story is it's been 18 years in the making. Um, I'll tell you the defining moment for me was this though. Uh, it was May 11th, and I had the day before, I think it was, I have it in my phone. I typed in my phone journal and I said, "Dear universe, if you're real." Uh, no, it was when was it? Maybe it was April. I need to look at it. Anyway, I typed in the thing, if "Dear universe, if you're real, let me hear from her." And that was my ex fiance, and I hadn't heard from her in a long time. And I go to sleep that night, and I wake up in the morning, and I got a missed call from her, and she had gone through some things. And fast forward, April 25th was the last time I drank and got high. And I remember waking up on April 26th and thinking, I will never not be there for her if she calls. And if I continue to do this, I will never be able to be there for her if she calls. And that was enough for me to realize that I'm tired of making promises that I just didn't keep ever, ever. And there will never be a day that if she was to ever reach out and need me, that I wouldn't be capable of it. And so that's, I mean, it goes a lot deeper than it. I mean, obviously now I don't claim to be in recovery. I don't claim to be sober. I don't practice a program. I don't go to church. I don't have a sponsor. For me, it's just an identity change of where I just stopped. I don't drink. I don't get high. I don't associate with it. I don't go around it. I don't associate with people that do it. It's the fastest way for you to get ejected out of my life. I'm talking simplest things. If I see you, if like we hang out and then I see you on Instagram, have a blunt in your hand. Like I don't associate with any of it. Now, I don't condone any of it. Whatever you want to do for me, do whatever you want to do. I don't
Yeah,
condone nothing of it, but I'm not going to be around it to any degree.
because it opens the
Um,
door. Yeah.
it's just that it's just like it's maybe this is going to sound really really bad. Maybe this is not an unthought of out analogy, but millionaires don't hang out at McDonald's,
Right.
right? I
Right.
don't hang out with uh I don't hang out with people that do that. I don't hang out with people that drink. Now my parents drink. That's different. An occasional beverage at dinner is different than recreational drinking. Occasional drinking and recreational drinking are different for me. Occasional
Yeah.
drinking means that that person would never actually have to go drink. Recreational drinking means that they go out and they seek to get drunk or consume alcohol, and that is the purpose of them going out. I don't associate with people like that.
Yeah. It's just like it's
Um,
a part of habit to do it.
yeah, I just don't do it. I live a very boring, very happy life now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Peaceful.
one of the things that that made me change was her and her son. They will forever be they will forever be the reason forever that my life will have any success in it. So
That's
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, I
yeah,
love that. It's beautiful. And being able to recognize that too, I think, we're all on our own spiritual journey and it's a tough one. We have to cut out a lot of people in our life to really find ourselves, but I think what's meant for you will find you and it won't miss you. It's just
yeah,
maybe when it comes to relationships and understanding a lot of things is it takes two whole people. A lot of times when we're hurting from our traumas and we haven't healed that, it becomes a very toxic situation. Doesn't necessarily mean that the love's not there, but I think that we have to heal from those things because happiness is our responsibility. It's not anybody else's but ours. And that's where we get confused and we have it mixed up, is that we rely on someone else to make us happy, not realizing that it's actually us that have to make ourselves happy separately in order to make each other happy. And that's what, fulfills a really promising relationship. I'm 34 now, just turned 34, sorry. Um, and it took me a long time to understand that because I was always looking outside of myself for things that was always within.
Well, I
So,
think too, if I could interject in that, my theory is this: if I'm seeking happiness in a relationship, I'm always going to be doomed. Matthew McConaughey has a quote that I really, really love, and I'll paraphrase it and butcher it, but happiness is contingent upon the destination and the outcome of which I get. Whereas if I seek happiness, I'm always going to arrive and then seek more. Whereas
mhm,
joy is interdependent upon the outcome. It's the
yes,
fulfillment in doing the action, not the fulfillment in getting the reward. And I
yes,
think that's what I fell in love with. I found love, joy in the present, being in the presence of her,
yeah,
of being just around her gave me purpose and life and peace that I never had. Happiness went up and down depending on work, mood, arguments, uh, whatever it is. Happiness was always wavering, but I was never not joyful and I was never without peace when I was with her if I was choosing to do the correct things. She gave me chance after chance after chance of me continuing to fudge up, going to drugs. And there's other things in the relationship that when we first started talking, where I just wasn't the person that was entering with the same energy that she was. And she continued to give me chance after chance. But at some point, love has to be protective. You have to have more self love than you. There's no such thing as unconditional love. I don't believe in that.
yeah,
Uh, I think love should have conditions on it. Okay. You
yeah,
should have the condition of, I will not tolerate you beating me. I will not tolerate this. I will not
yeah,
tolerate that. Those are conditions of, if you love me, you don't do these things.
yeah,
So it's like the twofold thing is one of the questions is I ask myself daily. I loved her so much. She changed so much in my life, but did I really love her that much because I couldn't change the one thing that I was supposed to? And maybe that's just I don't know. I don't think people say that you're on their path and blah blah blah, and you're on the journey and so on and so forth. And uh, I don't know. I don't want to take any shortcuts on mine shit, and I don't want to take any outs or handouts, or I don't want to give myself any short passes in it.
yeah.
Um, I think that I think if I was a better person at the time, then I would have been a better person. And I know that's redundant, but that's just how I think.
Well, I mean, I think that we just don't know what we don't know, and we do the best that we can with what we're given. And that's my thing is I like really try to see perspective of both sides. I come from abusive relationships, but I come from an abusive household. So it's not that I'm justifying what was done, but it's that I understand, like in the sense of like our inner child that we haven't healed. Like it's just an inner, like that child's hurting. That child went through something. Not everybody is that way, right? But a lot of us go through things in our childhood that I think creates that certain reactions or certain behaviors doesn't justify it, doesn't excuse it, because if you know that you're hurting someone, then yeah, you should change it. I think holding everybody accountable for things is so important. So it's not to justify it. I think that I understand from both sides of that coin, because
Yeah.
it's having grace for people, but unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance of certain things,
No,
right? And that's
absolutely not.
where people have to understand too. So I know that healing asks us to face things we once avoided. What was something you didn't realize you would have to confront within yourself during recovery?
Um, I think it's just a continuous self-awareness of trying to be a better person. I again, I don't really. I think it's anything is that it's not just necessarily recovery, but as a human being tries to become a better human being.
Yeah.
To try to do less shitty things and more healthy things, right?
Yeah.
Uh, we love a person, we love ourselves, even if we're not in a relationship other than with yourself. So I love me. So what are the things that I do that clearly show that I'm a liar? As in, I say I love me, but yet I do these things which clearly shows that I don't love me. Where am I continuing to throw dirt into my tile four, or where am I continuing to uproot the flowers in my garden of my own self doing? And so I think it's that aspect of it. The daily looking at and taking accountability of the shit that I do every day and saying, okay, did this make me better? Did this put peace into my life, or did this increase chaos?
Yeah.
Because I think over the course of time, people always say, like, I don't know how I got here, or change is so hard. Change is not fucking hard. It's hard when you've gone the wrong way for so long time. So, like, if I don't do an accountability or a daily inventory of what I've done each day, I'm never going to be aware until it's 2 years down the road. And now all of a sudden, change looks like a mountain to me.
Yeah.
Whereas if I do a daily inventory for myself, then I see, like, oh shit, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. Okay, I don't want to act like that. I don't want to act like that. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow I'm going to try to not do that. So I try to daily change as opposed to wait until all of a sudden it's extremely apparent change. I think that's probably the biggest thing that and I'll put in quotations of recovery, but just as my life has changed, since I've been continuing to try to seek healthiness, happiness, and wholeness into all areas of my life, spiritually, financially, mentally, emotionally, and to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
I don't think that, yeah, I think we were meant to be with a pack people or have somebody else, but there's a lot of seasons of time where you don't have anybody in your life. And so how the fuck do you, excuse my language, but how are you going to grow if you can't hold yourself accountable? How are you going to grow? So
Exactly.
I think that's probably one of the main things that I've been doing as far as since I've been on this new path.
Yeah, I love that. That's very true. Because not everybody can hold themselves accountable to things, but you can't fix or change within yourself what you refuse to acknowledge. So that's something that I think is so important. That's a lot of what Ashes to Orchids is about. It's about a lot of different things, but mainly love, unity, and healing. But there's, a lot of things that need to be brought to surface, and we need to be able to have those conversations and talk about those things because I don't think anyone's incapable of healing. They say when it comes to like narcissistic abuse and all of that, like narcissists can't be cured. And maybe that's true. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But I feel like if someone truly wants to change, they can. It's in my mind, it's mind over matter. If you put your mind to something, then you can accomplish it, but you have to have a mental toughness. So I want to talk about your poetry. So your writing, it has emotion, humor, vulnerability, and truth. What did or when, sorry, did poetry become a voice for you, and how has it supported your healing journey?
I think I've always written. I went through a long stage before I stopped writing, for a long, 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 long time. But like I told you, I came to 2025 empty. And I didn't know what to do. Um, and I found myself going back and writing, journaling to start, like I told you, um, and mentioned. But it was a way for me, I guess, to hold on and let go at the same time. Uh, and then also, I fall, sounds weird. I fall in love with myself when I watch me read it. I listen to myself and it's like, I can, I remember her. Uh, there's I just wrote one. It's called Beautiful Imperfections. And it's the very beginning. It says, "Don't give me the scar, or don't give me the beauty that you show to the world, but give me the scars." And it's like I think I've probably listened to it 1,000 times. Like I listen to it for 30 minutes solid when I'm doing cardio. Um, it just allows me to continue to heal. It allows me to continue to remember, and it allows me to continue to stay grounded. Um, like I said, I don't do anything in my life. I mean, from maybe the outside, maybe I do a lot, but like for me, like I live a very confined, uh, over and over again
Isolated,
life.
kind of. Yeah.
Very isolated, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not isolated. Like I work with a bunch of people. I have friends. I talk to my family. Like, but but it's still a choice of isolation in the same time. Like I like going to a restaurant and eating by myself. I like going on a vacation by myself. I like going to a sporting game going by myself. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think it's a way for me to heal. It's a way for me to connect. and to hold, like I said, to hold on to and to let go of at the same time.
Yeah.
And so when it comes in waves for me, when I'm able to write, it's not a consistent thing. Um, it's a sporadic thing, and then I'll just bust out a little bit. But yeah, I usually have to have like some YouTube like somber music on, and then I like just go into the flow of it. But
Yeah.
um, I've always had a decent vocabulary. I got locked up in 2012, and so I read a lot. And I read so much in 2 years. I think that I've continued to ride that horse since then, since I got out. But yeah, it's just been a way for me to be able to, I guess, just continue to give thanks for the incredibleness, one of to share my story, um, and to hope that somebody else is able to relate to it, whether it's poetry through my drug use, all my failures. I talk about. I was married in 2017 and 2019. I committed adultery and lost that marriage. I have poetry about those. It's a way for me to talk about all the shit that I've done and to be able to get it out, and not continue to feel guilty for it. Maybe that's why I continue to do it. Maybe it's a continuous self forgiveness act of myself.
And I feel like it's
Um,
part of the healing journey because I
yeah,
myself, I mean, after what I went through, I wrote a book. I wrote a
yeah,
book and I haven't promoted it. It hasn't made any sales, but it was just so therapeutic to just get it out, because I
yeah,
used to do stories as a kid and just fictional stories of like my life sucked and I wanted to be somebody else, so I did that, and it was just, but the writing, I got really good at it because that was my way of
yeah,
like handling it. So,
yeah.
um, you say you've experienced love in the beautiful ways and in the painful lessons. What have your relationships taught you about love, attachment, and personal accountability?
I think that for me, uh, it has shown the last relationship showed me what love is. Um, it showed me that it has forgiveness to an extent, but then it also for her side, and then it also showed me that that it should be completely um, crazy to the world.
Yeah.
It should be embarrassing. It should be funny. It should be all of the things wrapped into one. Um, I think that with her, she showed me that for me, love is not a phrase or a title or a state of being. It's an action. Um, where my behaviors in massive amounts of my life changed. Unfortunately, they didn't change in every area that was needed. Um, but she showed me that's what a relationship does. It should automatically say to people that, wow, they're obviously different. What's happened to them? Um, I think it makes me be more aware. I think that love, so often I would be looking for what the person can do for me or can they, how can I get out of this or how can they assist me? Um, and she showed me that it was what can I do for her, though I failed so often at it. Um, there's a guy that I listen to a lot. His name's Alex Hermosi, and he talks about love. And he says that the two main factors for love that you need to find in a person to see if you would want to be with them is one, do they make you a better person when you're with them? And two, do they help you accomplish your goals faster?
Yeah.
And when I was with her, every box of my life was ticked better. There wasn't an area of my life that faltered. Not one. Not one, unless it was by my own doing.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that's what the last relationship has showed me. It showed me um, that's what it should be. I honestly don't. I just heard a podcast from another guy too, and I don't know who he is, but I honestly don't think that I'll ever meet another person like her. I think I could be in love again? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Will I ever? Do I ever believe that I will ever meet someone to the caliber of her or what I feel for her now to the degree of what it is? No, no, I really don't. And and if that's what she was, Do I think she came into my life to teach me a lesson? No, I don't, because then that sucks for her because she had to get hurt to teach that lesson. And I think she would say that she's a better person now. And da da da. Right? She's thankful for the events and how it all transpired. She's doing amazing in her life too. Um, but at the same time, it happened how it happened because of what I did, not because we weren't ready or things weren't there, right? I didn't stop getting high. That's the reason the relationship blew apart. I didn't stop getting high, and I was hanging on to a past relationship when we first met. Those are the two reasons the relationship didn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, she showed me what I'm capable of. She she ignited the flame into who I am today to show me that I'm uh yeah, what I'm capable of.
It's
And I
beautiful.
don't think I'll ever meet another person like her.
Well, I do hope that you guys find your way back to each other. And I think that sometimes time can heal a lot of things. So never think it's too late. I think once you get to a certain point where and that's the thing, I think we always say we're healing and there's always something more we can learn. But I think when you get to that point, you never know. You guys might end up back together at some point. If that's the love of your life, then you're doing great, and I'm sure she's proud of you. And time heals a lot of things. So I really hope that for you guys. And my last question, because I know we're a little bit over time,
It's
and
fine.
it's an important one, is a lot of men grow up being told to hold it in, be strong, or don't feel too much. How would you encourage men to heal their past pain and trauma, not just for themselves, but to show up whole for their partner, their children, and the generations that come after them?
Um, I would, I think for men, okay, the reason I held things in is for two reasons. If I told you you would take my job, or if I told you you would try to get with the person that I'm with, you would try to have sex or try to swoop in and take my wife or my girl or whoever it is. Those are the two things that always blocked me from being honest. Um, with what I was self-sabotaging in. Whether it was talking to another person, I told you I was very unfaithful in relationships before I had met my ex-fiance previously. And then drugs, obviously, I'm dishonest, right? And you could even call that unfaithfulness, right? With having another thing involved in the relationship with the dishonesty and the putting effort and emotional attachment into that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's what it was. I think that men need three people in their life. I call it four pillars because you got to be a pillar in yourself.
Mhm.
This is my own idea of myself, but you need three people that you can tell anything to, no matter what. They won't judge you, they won't try to critique you, and they won't give you an advice. They'll just listen. Most of the time, men just need to talk something out loud in order to realize that it's the stupidest fucking thing. Again, excuse my language, that we've ever
Yeah.
thought of. We have the greatest ideas in our head. Nobody has ever had a better idea than me. Um, and yet, when I say those ideas out loud, I am like, what is that?
Yeah.
That is the dumbest idea ever. Um, so yeah, I think that to find people that you trust, which is a hard thing to do when you're an untrustworthy person, because
Yes.
you attract what you are. So that in itself is very, very hard. So maybe to start implementing some different behaviors as far as trust. But other than that, I'm a big advocate on getting help if it's required. So medical detox, you're on drugs, go to a detox and get the help. If you are contemplating taking your own life, I don't know if people know this, but if you are, you're going to get locked up for 3 days. But it's probably the best 3 days that you'll ever have. Okay.
Hmm.
And you can maybe get some medication and you can get some psych evaluation and get some things taken care of, or at least just get out of that moment. So I'm a big believer in professionalism. I'm also a big believer in that you don't emotionally dump on people. I think a lot of the people, the reason why that we get all let down is because we told them and they didn't help us at all. Matter of fact, they just looked at us differently. Well, because the person's not trained for any ability to be able to take what you're about to lay on them, and you think that they should be able to sit there and listen to an hour and a half. Like, people don't do that. They're not professionals. So be careful who you emotionally dump on. And then if I could just be real raw, most of the time you know what to do, and I'll keep it G rated. You know what to do. You know what you're supposed to do. Do it. Quit. Quit. I think that the biggest lie is that in Narcotics Anonymous for me, and I don't knock anything. So maybe take that back. The biggest lie, one of the biggest lies I've ever heard, is it's simple, but it's not easy. I think it's both. I think it's simple and it's easy. For the event of this, to not cheat is simply don't entertain, message, put out, or get with other girls. It is easy as in saying no.
Yes.
To not get high, it is simply don't pick it up, put it in you, buy it. It is as easy as not picking it up, not putting it, not buying it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's it. I think that we give ourselves so many excuses so many times. I gave myself excuse after excuse after excuse of listening like, oh, it's not that easy. It's so hard. And the fact is this is when I want to do it, I'll do it. When it gets so painful, I will. And to stop making excuses. The life that you want is right there.
Yes.
It's right there for you. It,
Yeah.
it's right there. It just is just waiting for you to freaking
Claim
stop
it.
what you're doing.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
claim it. I think that, and that too, like we can't change anybody but ourselves. And I've had to learn this too. Like you can't, the blaming other people for why this or that, it just does nobody any good. And life and death is in the power of the tongue. So whatever you tell yourself is what you're gonna see in your reality. If you're telling yourself it's hard, okay, then it's gonna be hard because you already got it in your mind that it's gonna be hard. So you gotta speak life and you gotta speak positivity. And that's not always easy and nobody's perfect, but I think that that's so important on for anyone's healing journey is to just keep going. Don't give up, just tell yourself we got this. We're all here. We all have unique gifts and something to offer the world and nobody's better than the other. And you just waste too much time blaming other people for your problems when it just takes looking in the mirror and being the change you want to see. So I think
absolutely.
that's where we start. But I do appreciate you coming on and talking. I do appreciate it so much. But yeah, I hope to talk to you soon and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
stay good over there and yeah, thank you again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. I greatly
All right.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.